The wild card round of the NFL playoffs is almost wrapped up. We've got one game left between the Cowboys and the Buccaneers, and we're on to the divisional round of the NFL playoffs. And if you want to place a bet on any of the playoff games, betonline.ag is the place to do it.
365, 24/7, whatever sport you want to bet on, just make sure y'all go to betonline.ag.
betonline.ag, Ike, and use our promo code Bleav. That's BLEAV to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. All right, cue the music. It's time to start the show. Welcome to the Bleav in Steelers show on the Bleav Network. I'm your host, Mark Bergin, joined as always by my guy, Pittsburgh Steelers scout, two-time Super Bowl champion, and 12-year veteran of the Pittsburgh Steelers, number 24, Ike Taylor. IT, I see you're draped out in black and gold this morning. We had Wildcard weekend. There's NFL head coaching vacancies. A lot to talk about. We'll get to what Yins think as well, but I want to start right off the top here. Our guy, Minkah Fitzpatrick, named first team All-Pro. Hope you're doing okay this morning, Ike, and that's where we're going to start today's show.
Yeah, I'm doing fine. Football weekend is here. What a weekend of football for the NFL. I tell you what, the playoffs haven't disappointed nobody except for your team if you had that team and they lost. That's the only person. But, Mark, I mean, Minkah, 6 interceptions. The past 3 out of 4 years, been All-Pro since he's been in the city of Pittsburgh. I mean, just been everything you've been looking for. And you questioned at the time, why would you trade a first-round draft pick? And here's why. I'm looking at a future, knock on wood, if he stay healthy, Hall of Fame coming at that safety position, Minkah Fitzpatrick. He does it all. And usually, and now in this time to play that position at that free safety mark, usually they catch, meaning they're ball hawks, but they really don't like coming down in the box and tackling. Minkah does both. And if you just look at Minkah pass, when he was with the Miami Dolphins, he damn near played outside linebacker at the time. So I see why he got that kind of physicality. But just, I mean, Minkah been a blessing to the city of Pittsburgh and the organization. Just a good dude overall in general. Somebody ain't never got to worry about no off-the-field issues, takes work seriously, is the quarterback on that defense when it comes down to lining everybody up. You don't need a Mike or a Buck to line them up. Minkah can do it from back there from the safety position. But 6 interceptions. I think it's the second time having 6 picks, second year having 6 picks. But Minkah is just everything you're looking for, man. Minkah is a staple, just especially coming behind a guy named Troy Polamalu. You know, and Coach T said it one time before. Hey, man, I've seen this before. So when he was talking about Minkah, he was like, I've seen this kind of person before. And he was talking about Troy in comparison. So, Minkah, man, well-deserved to Minkah. Big props to Minkah. Matter of fact, I got to get Minkah on our show, to be honest with you, because I just talked to him. But Minkah just been everything you can look for in the safety, whether it's covering, making plays when you need it. He took over – what game he took over? Well, he had an interception, a sack, and a blocked field goal. That's
the opening week against Cincinnati, Ike. I'd argue he single-handedly won the game, and Ike, to piggyback off that, I could make the argument that Minkah Fitzpatrick at the safety position on defense was the Steelers' best offensive player in the 2022 season. I could make that argument.
100%. And I can't rebuttal against you either, Mark. I agree.
Yeah. So listen, and I keep receipts, Ike. You know, I'm a little bit petty, but
a little bit.
Yeah. Trading with the Dolphins. Okay. The Steelers now have a 3-time All-Pro player, 3-time Pro Bowler, one of the top safeties in the game. In exchange, Dolphins have offensive tackle Austin Jackson, 30 career starts. That's fine. Doesn't have any Pro Bowls. It's been on the IR twice as well, Ike. So if we're keeping receipts, listen, I'd just say the Steelers won that one.
Yeah, 100%. Hands down.
I'd say the Steelers won that one. But again, I would make the argument, Ike, that Minkah Fitzpatrick, at least on the front half of the season, was the Steelers' best offensive player. And that's why he's All-Pro. Only Steelers player to make it to any of the All-Pro teams, Ike. And we always say this too. All-Pro is based on merit, Pro Bowl, fan popularity, and everything. And Minkah gets both. And I'm very excited to see what he can continue to do as long as, Cam Hayward, TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith and company can continue to create pressure up front to where we saw him go back to his ball hawking ways. We didn't see that in 2021, Ike, because the front seven wasn't as stout as it had been in years past. But Minkah Fitzpatrick can play his true ball hawk position when the Steelers create that pressure up front, and that was evident to me this season.
Oh, I gotta give a huge shout out to Cam Hayward. He still led interior defensive lineman pretty much every stat. I'm pissed off he didn't make All-Pro as well. They had a few young guys, and you got to tip my hat off to the young guys. But just like statistically, looking at Cam, I think Cam had up 78 tackles, 12 and a half sacks, and like 12 and a half tackles for loss. So Cam did his damn thing also as well. So statistically, Cam, I think pound for pound was number one when it came down to the stats. I thought Cam should have got during the All-Pro. Big shout out to Cam. Also, to piggyback off of what you said, Mark, the emergency and the healthiness of DeMonte Casey let Minkah be Minkah.
Yep.
So I got to give a shout out to DeMonte Casey as well too.
I like to talk about that yin and yang with the pass rush. Go back and watch the tape from the Atlanta game. When Minkah Fitzpatrick gets the interception to put the game away, Atlanta's trying to drive down the field to either tie it up or take the winning score. It's the pressure created by Cam Hayward up front, the bull rush to where Falcons quarterback doesn't have any time to throw. I Bleav it was Mariota in that game. Throws it right to Minkah Fitzpatrick, and it's just that complimentary football that we're talking about.
Correct.
Yeah. All right, Ike, we're going to go to What Yins Think, where we hear from our listeners and viewers. We've got one today from Robert Rode. Robert writes in, with how much time Lamar misses and with what the Ravens just paid Roquan Smith, it means Lamar will be wearing another uniform very soon. Ike, I want to get your thoughts. In 2023, does Lamar Jackson stay in Baltimore? Is he elsewhere? Do they use the franchise tag? What happens with Lamar? Because Ravens just get knocked out of the playoffs. Lamar did not play due to his knee injury. I don't blame him there. But where does Lamar wind up next season?
They're going to tag him. They're going to tag the hell out of Lamar. Unless they like somebody now in college. And right now, ain't nobody better than Lamar coming out of college. Ain't nobody on the market, period, just on the market. I'm talking about all positions. Better than Lamar if Lamar hits the market. He's a franchise. He's a game changer. He's your former league MVP. Ain't nobody like Lamar. So, yeah, they're going to tag the hell out Lamar. Lamar going to wind up getting this deal done. The way he's getting it done, how long he has to wait, I'm sure it sucks for him. He's pissed off. But for the Baltimore Ravens, he will stay in Baltimore. They'll get this deal done. They're just going to tag him first.
Yeah, that was my takeaway when I saw the Roquan Smith deal, Ike, where it was just like, okay, they're going to tag Lamar because I take away football for a second, his ability on the field, which is spectacular. He's, a video game quarterback and everything. It's very exciting. The marketability of Lamar Jackson, you're just going to let him go and you're going to let him walk. They have a lot of very, very bitter Ravens fans if Baltimore let that happen. And it's exactly like you said, Ike. When we've talked about this in previous shows, to me, it's okay. If you want to move on from Lamar, what's your alternative that is a definitive upgrade? And that's where, to me, the conversation starts and stops, is I cannot point to a candidate, whether it's a rookie coming in with whatever draft pick the Ravens end up getting, because it's not going to be in the top half of the draft, the top 16 picks. And then in free agency too, that is always a huge gamble. So if the Ravens did decide to let Lamar go, they would need to have a plan of, hey, here's who we're going with at the quarterback position. And I can't point to a single guy that is a definitive upgrade over Lamar Jackson in 2023. I'm with you. As soon as I saw this Roquan Smith deal, it's like, well, Lamar's going to have to ball out yet again to where he can make his cheese.
Yeah, they're going to tag Lamar, but they're going to get the contract done. He just, in order for them to keep him, they just going to hit him with the tag because they have the first rights to do that. So they'll tag Lamar and they'll work out a deal. They'll definitely work out a deal. But it should, in my personal opinion, it should have never got to this point when it comes down to Lamar Jackson.
Well, I'm with you, Ike, but I also think too, with what happened with Kyler Murray this last year and Deshaun Watson, it kind of reshaped the market where neither of those quarterbacks made the playoffs and neither of those teams to where it worked out for what their expectations were for this season. And so I think we can both agree that Lamar right now is better than both of those players, but you see what they got. And then it's like, is it worth that much? So from Lamar's standpoint, he's got to be looking at it and say, hey, I should make more. But then the team's going to be looking at it and saying, hey, those organizations just paid those quarterbacks a premium and it didn't work out. Why should we pay that much? And ultimately, you'd think that they meet somewhere in the middle.
I mean, Lamar can argue all day. Like, I'm a former league MVP. The two guys you just named, Mark, between Deshaun Watson and Kyler Murray, like, they was never former leagues MVP. An organization never said I had to get in the playbook and put in my contract stipulations on learning the playbook and spending hours in the playbook, like, and doing homework like I'm a little kid. I don't have these off the field issues like the quarterback in Cleveland Browns. So what we talking about? The only since me and Josh Allen and company coming into my draft, I got the best record. I got the best regular season record between everybody. And Josh hasn't hit league MVP. So the only person who really doing better than me out of the young group is Joe Burrow, if you want to think about it. And they gave Josh Allen close to $500 million. Well, hell, what's up with me? My record is better than him. I'm a league former MVP, and he hasn't been to a Super Bowl either. That's how Lamar looking at it. So what we waiting on? You know, so y'all giving him all these weapons. I'm just talking like as I'm Lamar.
Oh yeah.
Him all these weapons. I can't catch a cold in Alaska right now. Y'all just want me to use my legs. Yeah, I do have Mark Anderson. Y'all do give me a staple of running backs, but if you want to compare it to other quarterbacks out my generation, who's better than me than Joe Burrow? I mean, come on, let's be for real, guys. This if I'm Lamar, I'm like, let's be. Oh, I'm a former league MVP, so that counts for nothing. My record is better than everybody you can just name. Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, between us three, that don't count for nothing.
But what they're going to say back, though, is saying, oh, well, wins and losses aren't a quarterback stat, which, like, I think there's a correlation there, Ike. But I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying.
Wins and losses is a quarterback stat. It is a quarterback stat. And I'm the best. When I'm not playing, we don't do good. This is not San Fran. They're on their third quarterback. When I'm not playing, we don't do good.
That's true, Ike, because going into the playoff game this season, when Lamar didn't play, Ravens were averaging 12.5 points per game. And I knew it would catch up eventually with them. They very nearly, I'd argue they should have beaten the Bengals. We'll talk about that here in a bit. But I'm with you, Ike, to where stats-wise, points-wise, offensive production, Lamar on the field versus when he's not on the field, like, this is no knock on Tyler Huntley or any of the other Ravens quarterbacks. Right. They're just not Lamar Jackson, period.
No, I get it. If Lamar, I'm fighting this case all day, though. I'm fighting the heck out of this case. Comparison to other quarterbacks, I'm fighting this case. Because really nobody can't tell me nothing unless it's Joe Burrow. So far, and he went to the Super Bowl, they still lost. But other than that, I mean, Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes, ain't really nobody can tell me nothing. When it comes down to these to stats and quarterbacks and who's the most valuable person on that team is and plus what I got to work with. Like everybody you name working with something. Like Patrick Mahomes working with an Andy Reid. Like Josh Allen working with Trayvon Diggs and a few other guys. Like they working with something, you know. So he like, man, give me something to work with. Give me something to work with.
Yeah, it's like other than Mark Andrews, who could you point to on that Ravens offense? Like, I mean, I suppose the offensive line to a degree, but from the skill position standpoint, who would definitely start for other teams? And I'm not trying to single out any other guys, but to me, the true difference maker, really the only one on that Ravens offense is Mark Andrews, the tight end who, you know, whether you want to say he's actually a receiver or tight end, you know, fine, we're splitting hairs at that point, but Andrews is really the only guy on that offense where it's just like, because Ike, I look at it from the standpoint when the Steelers are playing the Ravens, who's the guy we talk about every single time when we get past talking about Lamar? It's Mark Andrews.
Correct.
Yeah.
No, correct. No, but Mark is, man, Lamar he different, man. Lamar really ain't working with too much. The OC, you know, He's not in a Perry and San Fran situation. He's not in a Josh Allen situation as far as like talent around him. He doesn't have one of the offensive geniuses when it comes down to offensive minds with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. And so he's just, and Joe Burrow, just Joe Burrow. Honestly, I just personally think Joe Burrow just doing that. I was about to say the S word, doing that stuff by himself. You know, when Joe Burrow do have a T. Higgins, who has a better trio than Joe Burrow? Who got a better 1-2 punch than Joe Burrow? So Lamar, like, golly, guys, and I'm putting up the points. My defense giving up damn near 25 points in the second half. So what y'all want me to do? Y'all want me to play corner too? Because I can play corner if y'all want me to. So Lamar just, man, pay that man.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to put this on tape, because I've floated out this idea before. Tom Brady, I don't think he'll retire, but he leaves Tampa. Tampa has a void at the quarterback position, and this was the team that struggled the most, if one of the most in the league at running the football. What better solving that than having Lamar Jackson at the quarterback position, forcing defenses to play 11 on 11? It's my half-baked theory, Ike, but I got to put this on tape, because when that comes to fruition,
you manifest it.
Yeah. All right, Robert, thank you for that question. That's what Yins think. Ike, observations from wild card weekends. And speaking of making defenses play on 11 on 11, Daniel Jones, Ike, really, really impressed me. Had more than 300 yards, 70 through the air, 75 through the ground, 2 passing touchdowns as well. Ike, he reminds me a little bit of like a worse version of Josh Allen. Not surprising considering Brian Daboll came over from Buffalo. But, it's forcing defenses to play 11 on 11 to where if the first or second read wasn't there, he was tucking it and running the ball using his athleticism. And listen, Ike, we tried to tell the listeners and viewers, if you listen to this show in advance of Wildcard Weekend, we went 5-0 in our picks. You put some money in your pocket too. And we told you that the Giants were going to upset the Vikings. The Vikings this season going into this game were 11-0 in 1-score games, and it finally caught up to them this past weekend.
Hey, I mean, you just said it. You just said it what we said earlier. The whole year damn near with Daniel Jones. First of all, he got a heck of a head coach, and his head coach is getting everything up out of him as far as like talent. And Daniel Jones has looked totally different between last year and this year. He golly. But, man, first, second read, take off, run if you don't have it. First, second read, take off and run if you don't have it. And that's exactly what hurt the Minnesota Vikings. They didn't account this 11 on 11. They didn't account for Daniel Jones' legs. And if you look at, I think Daniel Jones wound up having 78 yards rushing. Mm-hmm. I think he had 17 carries, 17 or 16 carries.
It was a career high 17, Ike.
You see what I'm saying? But then if you backtrack, what's my head coach for the Giants?
Brian Daboll.
Brian Daboll. If you backtrack, where he came from, what kind of quarterback he had? His name is Josh Allen. So during the playoffs, which you didn't account for, he started as Josh Allen, running the ball, making it 11 on 11. Everybody was upset about it because we like, why the heck you gonna rush your franchise quarterback so many times? He's like, heck, my quarterback 6'5", 250. Why not? That's an extra person on the field. For me, if you look at it now, it's really 11 on 11. Daniel Jones, not as big as Josh Allen, but he's athletic as well, like a Josh Allen. You sleep on what he can do when it comes down to running. What happened yesterday? Run the football. So you got a head coach, which was a former offensive coordinator with the Buffalo Bills, the same body types as quarterback, 6'5" and some change, over 230, that can run, that is mobile. If I'm in the jam, first, second read, take off running. Same way when he had Josh Allen when Josh Allen was young. First, second read, take off running. So Minnesota didn't have an answer for him. By the time they had an answer for him on defense, it was just too late, Mark.
Yeah, 300 yards through the air, at least 75 on the ground in a playoff game. Here's the company that Daniel Jones joins: Steve Young and Lamar Jackson. Good company to be in, Ike.
Yeah, Daniel did his thing. You can just tell he's playing with a lot of confidence. You can just tell Coach have a few coaches around Daniel Jones, specifically just for Daniel Jones. You can see on the sideline. And this is going over what we messed up on. Okay, this is the correct read. What do we need to do on the field? What do you see Daniel Jones? And another coach is pushing confidence. And you need that when you got somebody on the field as your CEO at that quarterback position. So they didn't figure this thing out.
You're bringing him back next year, Ike, Daniel Jones? I know they didn't pick up his 5th-year deal.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Because then again, if we go back on that quarterback market, other than Lamar, if we get Lamar, then we got action. But other than Lamar, he is my friend. Quarterback.
With Lamar too, and Ike, I meant to bring this up. When the Ravens traded Roquan Smith, they traded a 2nd and 5th round picks to the Bears. So the Ravens almost have to re-sign Lamar too, because okay, you weren't going to do a 1-year rental on Roquan Smith considering all the picks that you just gave up to get him. And then again, it goes back to with what the Giants are dealing with Daniel Jones, with free agency and quarterback. Do you want to take that huge gamble of, okay, by the time the Giants pick to get a rookie that they really like, probably not going to be there. And then free agency, it's slim pickings, because if the quarterback was really, really that good, the team that he's currently on would want to re-sign him. So I'm with you there, Ike. A few other games I noticed. I know the Dolphins came up short against the Bills. Ike, you told me that this would be a close game. I got to give and tip my cap to Mike McDaniel to keep this within a 1-score game, scoring 31 points with a 7th-round rookie quarterback. I know they fell just short, but game was a lot tighter than I expected it to be. And the Bills in future rounds, if they don't protect the football the way that they did, this past weekend, that will catch up and they will get beat if they don't protect the football. And we saw that on display, and the Dolphins came roaring back. I thought they were going to pull off the upset yesterday, Ike.
They almost did, Mark. The Miami Dolphins almost pulled it off. They just staggered. They staggered a little bit in that 3rd quarter. There were some opportunities they had where they should have put 7 instead of 3 points on the board for the Miami Dolphins, but they definitely had a shot. And I also thought they should have ran the ball a little bit more when it came down to the Miami Dolphins as well. I think Coach Mike McDaniels figured it out not a little bit too late. He figured it out too late, as in jet sweeping and getting the ball and Waddle and cheetah hands right now off these receiver passes, screen passes. That's what I thought. But other than that, Mark, he coached his butt off for what he had to work with. And the man was working with another, third depth chart quarterback sitting in the 7th round from the draft, starting the playoff game. So I thought they was going to pull it off. Then when they staggered Mark in that 3rd quarter, I was like, it's just, Josh Allen. You just can't keep giving Josh Allen opportunities. That's what you can't do. But from the get-go, I will say this. On the next round coming up, the Buffalo Bills, they can't be stagnant coming out the blocks. Because when you have a good quarterback on the opposite side of Josh Allen, for some reason that defense do enough, because they do create turnovers. The Buffalo Bills do create turnovers. Josh Allen do turn the ball over as well. And going against a good quarterback, they play the Cincinnati Bengals and play like that, it's not going to look good for the Bills. They play the Kansas City Chiefs and play like that, it's not going to look good for the Bills. So they got to tighten up. Josh got to tighten up on turning the ball over. And honestly, Buffalo got to tighten up on their run game.
Yeah, the Bills.
Their secondary right now looking real good. Elam and company, the young boys from Florida, them boys looking real good in that secondary. Matter of fact, they kept the two cheetah, junior cheetah and senior cheetah. They kept them 2 boys kind of in check. They kept them in check for the big explosive plays when it came down to it on the receiver side. But yeah, they got to tighten up on that defense on the run game, and Josh got to tighten up with turnovers.
Yes, the Bills open as a 3.5-point favor against the Bengals, and we finally get to see that matchup that got stopped due to Damar Hamlin's collapse and everything too. Thought it was a nice moment too. I know he was at the game yesterday too, so glad he's back, doing better and better each day, Ike. And heck of a game, because I know the Bills and Dolphins played in the snow earlier in the regular season. That was a close one too. So yeah, both of those matchups this season were just must-watch football. Ike, I got to give you your flowers now. You told us the Jags would win. It was looking very grim when the Chargers had a 27-0 lead. Yes. And I am still trying to make sense of this game. The Jaguars come back and win despite losing the turnover battle 5-0. Previously, teams with no turnovers and 5 or more takeaways were 313-3 in NFL history. Jags come storming back, and I'm going to put this out there as well. Like, I'd be surprised if Sean Payton isn't the head coach of the Chargers in 2023. I'd already be bringing that into fruition now. And the floor is yours, Ike.
No, you got it. That's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah.
That's exactly. You don't move to LA and not have a plan. That what Coach Sean Payton did. Moved his buddy to LA, wind up getting on Fox to buy some time, and for y'all's sake, I'm talking for the LA Chargers' sake. I hope y'all do lose in the playoffs because I'm about to be your head coach because I got a defense, I got a quarterback that I can have for 10 years or how many years I want to coach, and I'm gonna take off. This is exactly what I'm gonna do. This is my whole goal. I'm talking as I'm Sean Payton. Yeah. This is my goal. And yeah, y'all know I go entertain Denver. I might go entertain another team, but
leverage, Ike.
I want to be with the LA Chargers. I want to be in LA. This is why I want to finish off on the West Coast. So this is exactly what I'm doing. So if y'all watch Fox and y'all saw the suit I had on a blue suit and I had a little bit of yellow and baby blue in my tie. Y'all already know where I'm going. I know Coach Sean. This is where I'm going. I'm going to the LA Chargers if they do get rid of their coaching staff. But Jacksonville, Mark, I mean, did what I said. I said Jacksonville played the worst they can play in the half. The Chargers defense can play the best they can play. Ashanti Samuel Jr. Golly, 3 picks.
We should have led the show with him, Mike. 3 interceptions.
Mark, 3 in the first half. Man had 3 in the first. Like every series, he was just catching the pick. Like you thought, if you throw it my way, pick, throw it my way, pick, throw it my way, pick. The man came on the sideline, not 1, not 2, but 3. Mark, I had 3 interceptions in the whole season. The man had 3 interceptions in one half. So that let you know he was in the matrix. But y'all done shot y'all wide. Y'all empty y'all clip because the Jacksonville Jaguars, first of all, they put points on the board before the half. And I said, oh, this is going to change the momentum. Then I said, ain't nothing else the Chargers could do to the Jacksonville Jaguars. They done shot their wide. It's all good now. And what Sunshine Trevor Lawrence kept doing. Sunshine Trevor Lawrence. See, that dude never wavered. They stuck to the running game when they needed to. They didn't change the ETN. Wind up having the yards he needed to have. They understand, man, we still got 30 minutes left in this ball game. Let's not change the game plan. Now, when we do pass the ball, we're going to run the ball off this run game. We'll play action pass. We're going to go a little bit deeper now. We're just not going to add Sunshine to read 1, 2, 3 and probably run. We're going to play action pass off of this run. Then we're going to go for the deep ball a few times. That's exactly what they did. Hey, defense, I need y'all to play stout. Because y'all been playing stout on them. They went for 15 carries in the first half with Eckler. Eckler did his thing. Then they went for 7 carries in the second half. Man, you got to give Eckler back the ball. You got to go 15. But so since you did that, you give me more opportunities when you pass the ball because now the clock is stopping. So now I ain't got to call no timeouts. You call the timeouts for me. Every time it's an incomplete pass, the clock stop, I got action. Every time the quarterback drop back, I got an opportunity to get the ball, score off a strip sack, fumble, or interception. That's what I got. Thank you for throwing the ball. And that's what the Jacksonville Jaguars said, Doug and company said. Thank y'all for throwing the ball in the second half. Y'all gave us life and a new opportunity. Y'all can watch us next week play playoff football while y'all sitting in that good weather in L.A. Pissed off. So, yeah, the Jacksonville Jaguars, man. They just, hey, Mark, Sunshine, a.k.a. Trevor Lawrence, the dude been one of the hottest quarterbacks since the Thanksgiving break. And their defense is on fire right now. I tell you what, they did a heck of a job getting that defensive line, drafting for that defensive line, Mark. Because that defense, they ain't playing no games. But, yeah, Sunshine and that defensive line, and Coach Doug really turned. Man, Coach Doug did this thing overnight, Mark.
I love the nickname Sunshine for Trevor Lawrence in Florida. It's a tribute to Remember the Titans as well. That is a great nickname. And we're into our 4th season of the show. I'm just gonna listen. I know you. For some reason, I think you would love to see like a Jags 49ers Super Bowl, which like for most people, that would be the most unpopular Super Bowl. But Ike Taylor, that would be like your ultimate matchup.
That'd be perfect. That'll be for me. That'll be a dream come true, Mark. That'll be Sunshine versus Purdy, right, in the Super Bowl. Who would ever thought the Jacksonville Jaguars would be in the Super Bowl against the San Francisco 49ers on their third string quarterback?
Yes.
Purdy 6-0, bro. It's crazy.
Can we give Kyle Shanahan his due? Because he's done it regardless of who his quarterback is back there, time and time and time and time again. And I've heard criticisms like, look, coaches end up getting fired. That's the nature of the NFL. It ends up happening. But like, to me, it's indisputable that that guy is a good football coach. And I think about it from the standpoint of, if I was a quarterback and I wanted to get drafted into an organization, someone who can set me up for success, they did it yet again. I mean, that Seahawks game wasn't even close, Ike.
Bro, hey, listen, Purdy, Coach Kyle, man, his game plan, like week to week, like he don't have a playbook. He got a game plan for this week. This is who we're attacking. This is what we're doing for this week. And if you got something to stop him, you know what? I forgot. I can throw this right hand, but I got to counter with this left hook. So I got something for that too. I knew y'all was gonna do that. I got something for that. That's what Coach Kyle be doing. Game plan. I'm gonna smoke you with this game plan. If you got something for it, I'm gonna hit you with the left hook because I got to counter. Yeah. There's nobody hotter than him when it comes to game plan for 2022-23 season. Coach Kyle Shanahan, man, putting up masterpieces. Especially, and he acquired CMC. So I acquired CMC. You see what I'm doing. And they got Elijah back from Lafayette, Louisiana. They got him back in the backfield. You see what he doing. Oh, by the way, we 6-0. Oh, y'all got Jimmy Garoppolo back? No, his name is Purdy. Mr. Irrelevant from Iowa State. Y'all don't know him, but I do. Man, this dude here, man. I mean, what can you say about Coach Shanahan, man? Right now, he's the hottest OC. He's the hottest mind going when it comes down to the offensive side, because he's finding ways to give everybody the ball, whether it's Kittles, Debo, or CMC.
Ike, I let them for dead when Garoppolo went down, because Trey Lance also went down earlier this season. We were on the show saying, hey, should the 49ers sign Baker Mayfield? Well, clearly they know something that I don't. They're better off just how good Purdy has looked. And I know that they're not asking him to do everything.
Correct.
But I, along with a lot of other people, left the 49ers for dead. And it's like, look, even if they get into the playoffs, good luck, whatever. They're going to be a tough out. They're going to be a really, really tough out. And yeah, I'd probably still pick Philly right now to come out of the NFC. But right now, from what I've seen the last several weeks and after Wildcard weekend, other than Philly, for me, the team I would not want to play in the NFC would be the 49ers.
Yeah, them boys playing that. Them boys. It's the way they playing. That physicality. Like, I like the team aspect of the Philadelphia Eagles, but they're not physical like the San Francisco 49ers on the defensive side. I like the physicality part for the Philadelphia Eagles on the offensive line part, but heck, then you got to balance it out with San Fran defensive line as well. So I like the way Philly is playing. They're just not playing. They remind me of the Indianapolis Colts. So they remind me of the coach. Colts played, but they played with grace and finesse. Win a lot of ball games. We play with more physicality. See, when coach going to the bulletin board, when they talk about San Fran, what's the first thing they say? We got to bring our big boy pants.
Mm-hmm.
When you're talking about Philly, you're not saying you got to bring your big boy pants. You're telling the offensive line, hey man, they got a rotation going on that D line for about 6 to 8 people. We got to be ready to go, because they're rotating like how Alabama rotate that D line. This is exactly what Philly is doing. Nobody's really saying the physicality part of how you would talk about the San Francisco 49ers on the defense side. Offensive, on offensive side, it's hard to go 6-0. And Jalen Hurts, if he didn't sit out a couple of weeks, he probably would have won league MVP. My personal opinion.
Yes, I agree.
But, golly, I mean, CMC, Debo, Ayuk, Kittles. I mean, if you quarterback, you'll take Jalen over Purdy, and you should. Running back, you want to take CMC over
Miles Sanders for Philly.
As you should. Wide receiver, you're going to take both wide receivers over San Fran wide receivers, for sure, as you should, between Adams and AJ
Brown.
Tight end, you're going to take Kittles all day. So, I mean, Mark, like you say, Mark, golly, whenever they meet up, it's going to be a game, and it's going to be a game of inches. It's going to be a game of inches. Just sitting here thinking about it. Golly.
Ike, I'm with you. Really quickly before we go to the final segment of the show, if I'm the Seahawks, I try to bring Geno Smith back on a team-friendly deal. Get like a 3-year deal done. He's 32, and I think he proved this season the fact that he had a better year than Russell Wilson, broke the passing record for the Seahawks. I think you bring him back. Again, a team-friendly deal. I wouldn't pay him a premium, but give him the money that he deserves and bring him back for 2 or 3 years. See what you got again with Geno Smith. I thought he and the Seahawks had a very, very nice season and well above expectations that anyone thought that the Seahawks could have this season. That's what I would do if I'm Seattle.
Revamp his whole career. Because when they went to when they said he was a starter, I was like, damn, Geno the starter. But Geno damn near proved me wrong. Not damn near. He sure did prove me wrong.
Yeah.
But Carroll love him. And you can tell that locker room love him. He's one of the guys. And that's what it was missing from Russell. Russell wasn't one of the guys. Russell felt like he was better than them. They feel like we got a quarterback in Geno and he's one of us. He hangs out with us. He kicks it with us. He don't think he's better than us. And Pete Carroll, you can tell Pete love him. But Geno, yeah, give Geno 10 a year, man. 10 to 12 a year. Go out Geno 10 to 12 a year for 3 years. Draft your quarterback. Let him sit on the Geno. Build around. So when it comes, get that man. Yeah, get that man. 10 to 12 a year. I agree with you, Mark.
All right, Ike, best NFL head coaching vacancy: Colts, Broncos, Panthers, Texans, and Cardinals. I'm on record last week, Ike, when you hopped off. I'm going to go with the Texans for this reason. They have the 2nd and 12th pick in this upcoming draft. You have a blank canvas. I think there are some limitations with the other rosters. Again, among the Colts, Broncos, Panthers, Texans, and Cardinals, Ike, if you had your choice for where you could be a head coach, which team are you picking and why?
Man, first of all, I'm going to talk about the Texans. It's the organization part I don't like about the Texans.
I'm with you there.
Yeah, so I get what you're saying though with the picks. You give me, I got damn near nothing but high grade picks, so I can get whatever I want. I can build my franchise. But I'm gonna go with the Denver Broncos, Mark. The reason why I'm gonna go with the Denver Broncos is because I already got a quarterback. I think this was a one-off on him having a bad year. I got a top 5 defense, a top 5 young defense. I have a running back who got hurt, who was top 5 before he got injured. I have receivers. I just need to get me a tight end. I do have an offensive line. So, and I got an organization that pretty much they run itself well. But the only part about that was getting this last head coach. They missed on that head coach. But as far as like pieces to the puzzle, I think Denver would be best bet if I'm a head coach to go there.
All right, Ike, I know that tight ends, they've got Albert Ode out of Mizzou and then Greg Dulcich, who we really liked. So maybe they can emerge. 2 big bodies at the tight end position. In terms of the organization, Ike, I'm totally with you because the Texans have fired their head coach. They've had like 4 in 4 years. So I'm with you there. But Ike, we got to wrap up. This has been a great show. Ahead on the Bleav in Steelers show in the coming weeks, Ike, we're already starting to line up guests for the 2023 edition of our show. Very excited about that. So that's coming very, very soon for the listeners and viewers. Ike, I want to thank you, our video producers over at Brinks TV, led by John Brinkus, Courtney Vargas, Herbert Diaz, producer Megan and the whole crew, producer Yancey as well. Today's sponsor of the Bleav in Steelers show, betonline.ag. I want to thank the listeners and the viewers for taking the time out of their day to watch us, Ike.
One thing, everybody, for tuning in to the Bleav in Steelers podcast. I want to thank you, Mark, for show all day, being my great host with me. Got to thank betonline.ag for always rocking with us since day one. Got Got to thank Brinks TV, Miss Courtney, and her whole crew. Want to thank everybody who always working behind the scenes with us. Make sure y'all give us a 5-piece, 5 stars is what I'm saying. But yeah, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Keep sending us what Yens thinks. What Yens think. We love that segment as well. Keep tuning in. We ain't going to do nothing but get high to have more people on the show. Appreciate y'all for watching us. Mark and I.
For Ike Taylor, I'm Mark Bergin. Thanks for watching the Bleav in Steelers show. We'll see you later this week. Until then, take care and so long, everybody.
Peace.